New macro commands 7, end to cursor, and selection start or end. The next installment in our tour of new macro commands in Audacity 3 takes a look at clip alignment commands, in this edition of Stuart's Audacity Tips. Once again, the macro commands we're looking at this time may not be of much interest to you if you primarily deal with single-track recording. Hello, VO Tribe. But since having the facts is half the game, I'm sharing some with you. You can do the same. Pass it on. The macro commands in this tip add to the existing alignment commands, which are designed to align the start of selected audio with the cursor, or the start of the current selection. But instead of aligning the start of the selected tracks, the new commands align the end of the selected tracks. End to cursor, or selection start. The end to cursor / selection start command aligns the end of the selected tracks with the cursor, if no selection is currently made, or the start of the current selection, if there is one. End to selection end. The end to selection end aligns the end of the selected tracks with the end of the current selection. These commands can be a little confusing just because of the names of the commands, but it's fairly easy to sort out. I find that what works for me is to think of the selected tracks as a block of audio. When you use one of these alignment commands, the block of audio is kept intact and the end of that block is aligned, keeping the block as an unchanged unit with either the cursor, the start of the current selection, or the end of the current selection. Having said that, it's probably easier to show you an example than to try any more explanation. Here's an Audacity project with audio on several tracks. I've selected a section of time by using the time scale above the tracks. If I select the second and third tracks by clicking on their track headers, I can use a macro with the end to cursor / selection start command to align the audio in the two selected tracks with the start of the time selection, like this. Note that the two selected tracks aren't realigned relative to each other, they are shifted so that the end of the audio in the two tracks align with the start of the selection. Similarly, if I use the end to selection end macro command on the same selections, the end of the two-track block is aligned with the end of the time selection. In neither case does the relationship change between the two tracks that are adjusted. They're only moved as a block relative to the selected time span. Hope this helps. I'm Stuart.